Kara was unlike anyone Earth had ever seen, standing nearly 9 feet tall with skin that shimmered like the surface of a deep ocean. She looked more like a creature from a storybook than a real person. Her eyes were larger than a human's, a soft, glowing yellow that looked almost like a reflection of the stars in the night sky. Her body was tall and muscular, but with an elegance that was impossible to ignore. The alien girl's size and appearance were her biggest obstacles in her new life on Earth. She had come from a planet called Zelthor, a world far from Earth, where the beings were much larger and more advanced in ways humans could only dream of. The mission was simple: to introduce the people of Earth to an alien race, to promote peace and understanding between their species. Kara had been chosen as one of the ambassadors, sent to a small high school in a quiet rural town. However, she soon realized that her mission was much harder than she had anticipated. Her first day at school was a disaster. As she walked into the classroom, all eyes turned to her. The whispers began almost immediately. "Is that an alien? What's wrong with her skin? She looks like a monster." Kara tried her best to ignore the stares, but it was impossible. The room felt suffocating, as if all the air had been taken away from her. She wanted to shrink, to disappear, but she stood tall, reminding herself that she had a mission to accomplish. The teacher, a young woman named Mrs. Harper, greeted her warmly. "Class, this is Kara from Zelthor. She will be with us for the semester as part of an exchange program." The students didn't know how to react. Some smiled politely, others looked nervous, but most were either too shocked or too scared to speak to her. Kara sat down at an empty desk, the one in the back corner of the room. She tried to focus on the lesson, but it was hard. Every few minutes, someone would glance at her, and Kara could feel the heat of their stares. She kept her head down, hoping that the day would go by faster. But every time she looked up, someone else was staring at her. During lunch, Kara walked into the cafeteria where students were chatting and laughing. The moment she entered, the noise died down. The room fell silent, and all eyes were on her again. She felt the weight of the silence pressing on her. She could hear the whispers, the gasps, and the nervous giggles. Kara moved to the food line, trying to focus on the meal she needed to get. But the stares followed her. 2 girls whispered to each other, and Kara caught a few words. "She's so tall. Do you think she can even fit in a regular chair?" Another voice added. "Her hands are so big." "She's like a giant." Kara's heart sank. She wasn't sure if the students were genuinely curious or just mocking her, but either way, she didn't feel welcome. She sat alone at a table, picking at her food, barely able to eat. She knew that she was different, but she hadn't expected to be treated this way. It made her feel more isolated than ever. Her mind wandered back to Zelthor. On her planet, people looked like her. There, her size and appearance were normal. But here, on Earth, it was clear that she was an outsider. She had expected some curiosity, but this was different. The humans didn't seem interested in who she was, only in what she looked like. As Kara sat there, lost in her thoughts, a girl walked past her. She was short, with dark brown hair tied in a ponytail, wearing a simple blue hoodie and jeans. Kara didn't recognize her, but the girl stopped when she noticed her sitting alone. "Hey," the girl said, her voice soft but kind. "Are you all right? You look like you're having a rough day." Kara looked up, surprised by the kindness in the girl's voice. She hadn't expected anyone to speak to her, let alone offer comfort. Kara nodded slowly, unsure of what to say. "I'm fine, just a little tired." The girl smiled. "You're new here, right?" "I'm Maya. Welcome to our school." She sat down across from Kara without hesitation, her eyes warm and curious, not judgmental like the others. Kara blinked, surprised by the girl's calmness. Maya didn't seem scared or even curious in the way the others had been. She just seemed normal. "Thank you," Kara said quietly. "It's been difficult." Maya's smile didn't fade. "I can imagine. People can be a little judgmental sometimes, but don't let them get to you. They just don't know what to make of you yet." Kara raised an eyebrow. "You're not afraid of me?" Maya shook her head. "Why would I be afraid? I've seen enough strange things in my life to know that appearances don't tell the whole story." Kara's heart softened at Maya's words. She had heard people say similar things on her planet, but it felt different coming from Maya. Here, on Earth, no one had said anything kind to her, at least not until now. For the rest of lunch, Maya stayed with her talking about school, life, and things that made Kara laugh. Maya didn't seem to care about her size or her alien appearance. Instead, she asked questions about Kara's planet and her journey to Earth, as if she were talking to an old friend. It was a small moment, but for Kara it felt like a lifeline. As the bell rang signaling the end of lunch, Maya stood up. "I've got to go. But hey, if you ever need someone to talk to, you can always find me." She smiled and waved as she walked away, blending in with the crowd of students heading to their next classes. Kara watched her go, feeling a strange warmth spread through her chest. It wasn't much, but it was something. Maybe, just maybe, she didn't have to go through this alone. Maybe Maya could be her first real friend on Earth. As Kara made her way to her next class, she felt a little more hopeful than before. She wasn't sure what the future held for her on Earth, but with people like Maya around, she might just find a place where she belonged. The next few days were a blur for Kara. She woke up each morning with the same nervousness and dread, knowing that school would be a difficult place for her to navigate. But there was one thing that had changed: Maya. After their first conversation, Maya had become a constant presence in Kara's life. She would sit with Kara at lunch, offering a kind word when the others stared. She even walked with her between classes, talking about everything from the weather to the latest school gossip. Maya didn't act as if Kara was an alien. She acted as if Kara was just a person, which was something Kara had never experienced before on Earth. Still, the school didn't change. The students whispered behind her back. Some would avoid her in the hallways, while others would make fun of her behind her back. "She's too big for Earth," one of the boys had said, loud enough for Kara to hear. "Do you think she'll eat us?" Another girl joked with her friends. Every day felt like a battle for Kara. She tried to focus on her studies and not let the insults get to her, but it wasn't easy. She had never felt so out of place. In the halls, she always felt like eyes were following her, watching her, judging her. She was used to being different on Zelthor, but never like this. On her home planet, people didn't stare. They admired her strength and intelligence. Here, her size made her an object of fear and curiosity. But then there was Maya. Every time Kara felt lost or discouraged, Maya was there, offering a listening ear. Even when the other students made rude comments or gave her fearful looks, Maya stood by her side. She didn't care about Kara's size or her alien nature. She cared about Kara as a person. One afternoon during gym class, Kara felt the pressure of her classmates' eyes on her again. The teacher had organized a group activity, a relay race. Kara had hoped to blend in and remain unnoticed, but when it was her turn, the other students seemed to hesitate, unsure whether they should run alongside her. They exchanged nervous glances and whispered to each other. "Maybe she'll break the track," one student murmured. Kara's heart sank. She knew she was bigger and stronger than most humans, but she didn't want to hurt anyone or make them feel uncomfortable. She tried to smile, but it didn't feel like a real smile. It felt like a mask. Maya, who was in her group, noticed the hesitation in her eyes. She quickly walked over to Kara, placing a hand on her shoulder. "Don't worry about them. Just focus on the race. You've got this," Maya said with a reassuring smile. Kara looked at her friend, grateful for her support. She nodded, trying to push the doubts out of her mind. When the race started, she ran faster than she had ever run before. Her long legs stretched out effortlessly as her feet pounded the track. Her speed surprised everyone, but she wasn't trying to show off. She just wanted to do well, to prove that she wasn't a monster, just a person trying her best. The other students were stunned by her performance. As Kara crossed the finish line, the whole class stood in silence for a moment. Then, to her surprise, they clapped. Some even cheered. It wasn't loud or enthusiastic, but it was a start. The next few races went by quickly, and as the class ended, Kara felt a small spark of hope inside her. Maybe they were starting to see her differently. Maya walked over to her after the race. "See, I told you you could do it." "You're amazing, Kara." Kara smiled, though it was still a little hesitant. "Thank you, Maya, that felt good. But I'm not sure they really see me yet." Maya's smile faded slightly, but she remained hopeful. "They will. It'll take time, but you'll show them that you're more than just what you look like." The days that followed were a mix of small victories and moments of doubt. In class, Kara excelled. Her intelligence was unmatched, and she answered questions with ease. Yet even when the teacher praised her, the students still gave her sidelong glances. The praise didn't feel real when they were still whispering behind her back. One day, Kara sat by herself after lunch, watching as students mingled with their friends. She felt a deep loneliness. She had never felt so alone even in a crowd. She missed her home on Zelthor, where she felt like she truly belonged, but she had made a promise to herself. She had come to Earth with a mission and she couldn't give up now. She would do whatever it took to prove that she was more than her appearance. Maya approached her during the lunch break. "Hey, Kara, are you okay?" Kara looked up, her eyes tired. "I don't know. I'm just tired of being different. I know I shouldn't care what people think, but sometimes it's hard. I feel like I don't belong here." Maya sat down next to her, offering her a sympathetic look. "I get it. I felt like that before. But you have to understand, just because you're different doesn't mean you don't belong. People don't always know how to react to things they don't understand. It's not your fault. You just need to keep showing them who you really are." Kara nodded, grateful for her friend's words. It felt like a small light in a dark room. "Thank you, Maya. You're the only one who's ever made me feel like I matter here." Maya smiled. "Of course you do. You're my friend, Kara, and friends stick together." That afternoon, as they walked to their next class, Maya turned to Kara with an idea. "Why don't we do something fun this weekend? I know you're still getting used to Earth, and maybe a change of pace will help you feel better. We could go to the park, maybe take a walk around. What do you think?" Kara thought about it. The idea of leaving the school and the constant pressure sounded like a welcome change. "I think that sounds nice. I'd like that." Over the next few days, Kara tried to focus on the positives. She joined Maya in small activities, like sitting under the shade of a tree during lunch or working together on school projects. Slowly, the other students started to soften. They began to see that Kara wasn't just the alien girl. They began to see her as Kara, the smart, kind girl who was just like them in many ways. One day, during a history class, the teacher asked Kara to give a presentation on Zelthor. The class was surprised at how much Kara knew about the history of her planet and its advanced technologies. She spoke with passion about her people's values of peace, understanding, and knowledge. Some students asked questions and Kara answered them with patience and grace. For the first time, she felt like she was being seen for her intelligence and not just her size. After class, a few students came up to her, not to mock her, but to talk. "That was really interesting," one of the girls said shyly. "I never thought about things the way you explained them. You're really smart." Kara felt a warmth spread through her chest. It was the first time a student had complimented her in a way that wasn't about her appearance. It was a small change, but it felt huge to her. As the days passed, the students started to accept Kara more and more. It wasn't a complete transformation, but it was a step in the right direction. She still had moments where the whispers and stares returned, but now she had Maya by her side, and she was slowly finding her place on Earth. She realized that maybe, just maybe, she could find belonging here, but the journey wasn't over yet. Kara knew there would be more challenges ahead. She still had much to learn about Earth and its people, but one thing was certain. With Maya's friendship, she had a reason to keep trying. The days following Kara's history presentation felt like a turning point. For the first time since her arrival on Earth, she felt like she was more than just an outsider. The students seemed to look at her differently now, not with fear, but with curiosity. A few even approached her in the halls, asking more questions about Zelthor, her culture, and the strange technologies that powered her home planet. These weren't the same fearful whispers she had faced when she first arrived. They were questions from students who were genuinely interested in her. Maya continued to be by her side, always encouraging her, always making her feel like she belonged. Kara was grateful for her friend, but part of her still struggled with feeling truly accepted. The whispers had lessened, but there were still moments when Kara could feel the weight of stares. She had learned that acceptance wouldn't come overnight, and that was okay. She had to keep showing the students who she really was, beyond her size, beyond her appearance. One afternoon, Kara was walking to class when a group of students stopped in front of her. It wasn't the usual group of classmates that stared or mocked her. These were some of the athletes from the school's track and field team. One of the boys, a tall athlete named Eric, stepped forward. His posture was confident, but there was something different about the way he looked at her. "Hey, Kara," he said. His voice was calm, no mocking tone in it. "I just wanted to say you were amazing in gym class last week." I didn't think you'd be that fast, Kara blinked, surprised. It wasn't the first time someone had complimented her abilities, but it was the first time an athlete had spoken to her in such a way. Thank you, she said, trying to hide the surprise in her voice. I didn't mean to show off, but I guess it was fun, Eric smiled. No, it wasn't showing off. You've got real skills. I was wondering, would you be interested in joining the track team? We could use someone with your speed. I'm sure you'd be a huge asset to the team. Kara felt a mixture of surprise and uncertainty. She had never thought about joining a sports team. Her size had always made her feel like she didn't belong in that kind of environment. I'm not sure, she said hesitantly. I'm still new here. Maya, who had been walking beside Kara, stepped in with her usual calm support. She's got a lot of potential, Eric, Maya said. I think she'd be a great addition. What's the worst that could happen? If she doesn't like it, she can always quit. Eric smiled and nodded. Exactly. Think about it, Kara. The next tryouts are next week. If you change your mind, we'd love to have you. Kara stood there, her mind racing. She had never imagined herself joining a sports team, let alone a track team. But there was something about Eric's sincerity that made her pause. Maybe this was a way for her to show the students that she wasn't just different because of her size. She could be a part of their world too. After school, Kara and Maya walked home together, discussing the offer. What do you think? Kara asked, looking over at her friend. Should I try out for the team? Maya smiled brightly. Of course you should. I know you can do it. You've got the speed, you've got the strength, and you've definitely got the heart. Just think about it this way. If you do it, you'll show them all that you're more than just an alien. You're Kara, someone who belongs here. Kara's chest warmed at Maya's words. Maya's belief in her had been a constant source of strength, and now it felt like a chance for Kara to prove herself not just to the school, but to herself. I'll do it, she said, her voice steady. I'll try out for the team. The next week, the day of the track tryouts arrived. Kara felt a mix of excitement and nerves. She had practiced running on her own in the afternoons, but joining a team felt like a big step. What if the others didn't want her there? What if they laughed at her? She was different, and no matter how hard she tried to push those thoughts away, they still lingered. Maya was with her every step of the way, offering words of encouragement and cheering her on. You've got this, Kara, she said as they walked to the track. Just be yourself. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You're already amazing. When Kara arrived at the track, she noticed the other students sizing her up. There were several runners from the track team, all athletic and strong. Kara felt like an outsider once again, but she refused to let that fear stop her. She was here to show the world what she was capable of. The coach, a tall, muscular woman named Coach Thompson, walked over to Kara with a warm smile. So you're the new girl who wants to join the team, huh? Kara nodded, her nerves still there. But she felt a strange sense of determination growing inside her. Yes, I'd like to try out. Coach Thompson raised an eyebrow. Well, let's see what you've got. Start with the 100-meter sprint. Ready? Kara nodded and took her position at the starting line. Her heart raced, not from fear, but from excitement. She had never run in front of so many people before. But she wasn't going to let that stop her. She had come this far, and she wasn't going to back down now. The signal went off, and Kara took off with all the speed she had. Her legs stretched out with perfect timing, and in seconds she was ahead of everyone else. The wind rushed past her, and for the first time in a long time, Kara felt free. She felt like she was exactly where she needed to be. When she crossed the finish line, the other students were silent for a moment. Then they erupted into applause. Eric, who had watched from the sidelines, gave her a thumbs up. You crushed it, he called out. Coach Thompson walked over, smiling. Impressive. You're fast, Kara. We'd be lucky to have you on the team. Kara's heart swelled with pride. This was it, the moment she had been waiting for. For the first time since she had arrived on Earth, Kara felt like she truly belonged. She wasn't just the alien girl anymore. She was a part of something bigger, something that she had earned. After the tryouts, the team gathered around Kara, congratulating her on her performance. It wasn't just about her speed anymore. It was about her determination and her strength. She had shown them that she wasn't a monster. She was a human being with something to offer. As Kara left the track that afternoon, Maya was there, waiting for her with a big smile on her face. I knew you could do it, she said, hugging her friend tightly. You're amazing, Kara. Kara smiled, feeling the warmth of Maya's embrace. I couldn't have done it without you, she said softly. Maya pulled back, her eyes sparkling with excitement. This is just the beginning, Kara. I know you're going to do great things here. Kara looked around at the other students who had congratulated her. She had been afraid that they would never accept her. But today something had changed. She had shown them who she really was. And for the first time since she had arrived on Earth, Kara felt like she was exactly where she was meant to be.